You know that feeling, right?
Yeah.
Wanting to build something yourself, start your own thing. It's exciting.
Totally.
But then you think about money, needing loads of cash, and suddenly it feels impossible.
Yeah, that stops a lot of people.
But today, we're kind of flipping that idea on its head. We're diving into how you can actually start a business without, breaking the bank. We're talking less than $100 to get going.
Exactly. So if you've been thinking about entrepreneurship, but the money thing felt like a huge wall, then this is definitely for you. We've pulled together some really interesting stuff on this. It's quite empowering,
Yeah,
actually.
it really is. We've got a few key sources guiding us today. There's a Forbes piece, 3 businesses you can start for less than $100 in 2025.
Mm-hmm.
And a big list from Zen Business Fitnesses, 54 self-employed business ideas. You can start for under $100. That one's pretty fresh, from March.
That's a lot of ideas.
It is. And we're also leaning on Chris Givo's blog post, The Case for the $100 Business, for some foundational thinking. So our mission today is pretty clear. Find actionable ideas, real strategies for starting super small without needing a ton of cash up front.
And maybe the most important takeaway right from the start comes from Chris Guillebeau. He really nails it down. The number one thing you absolutely need is something to sell that other people actually want to buy.
That sounds simple, but it cuts through a lot of the noise, doesn't it?
It really does. It's the core.
Okay, so let's unpack that, because I think a lot of us get hung up on needing all this stuff for a real business.
Oh,
Like,
venture capital.
right, or a 50-page business plan, maybe a fancy office.
Right, the traditional checklist. But Guillebeau argues, especially for these tiny startups, that stuff is often just unnecessary, at least at first.
So what does he suggest instead? If you feel like you need something like, say, a business address.
Well, his approach is super practical. Need an address, get a P.O. box. Simple. Need a place to meet someone occasionally, use a co-working space for an hour, or just, a coffee shop. It's about being resourceful, stripping away the extras, and focusing on that main thing. Value exchange. What are you offering?
Right, focus on the core transaction. Makes sense. Now, that Forbes article mentioned 3 specific businesses for under $100 in 2025. We don't actually have the details on which 3 from our source.
Oh, okay.
But honestly, it doesn't really matter, because that Zen business post, it explodes with possibilities, 54 of them.
Yeah, that list is extensive. It really shows the sheer range of things you can do if you think creatively and keep those initial costs way down.
It's almost overwhelming in a good way.
So maybe we can try and group these Zen business ideas a bit to make sense of them.
Good idea. Let's maybe start with the service-based ones, things where you're selling your time or skills, mostly.
Sounds good. Where should we begin?
Well, first up on their list is becoming a senior home companion. And when you think about the demographics, all the baby boomers retiring, like 77 million people.
Huge number.
There's a massive growing need for just connection.
Hmm.
And help with daily stuff. It's not always complex medical care.
Right. It could be companionship, helping with errands, that sort of thing. The blog post also mentions related ideas like senior care consultant or elder caregiver.
It taps into a really fundamental human need, doesn't it?
Absolutely. And that's key for a lot of these low-cost ideas, solving a specific, often personal problem for a clear group of people. Another one I thought was interesting was a menu planning service.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, people want to eat better or just be more organized, but maybe they lack the time or, the know-how. And they suggest specializing like gluten-free, paleo-vegetarian. That seems smart. Carving out a niche.
That specialization point keeps coming up, doesn't it? It
That's
feels
true.
crucial when you're starting small.
Yeah,
Like if you really know the ins and outs of cooking for someone with allergies, that's super valuable.
exactly. Become the go-to person for that specific thing.
Then there's green cleaning services. Lots of cleaning services out there, sure.
Mm-hmm.
But focusing on eco-friendly methods and maybe even making your own natural cleaning products to sell. That could really make you stand out without costing a fortune to start.
Precisely. Finding that unique angle, that differentiator, that's vital when you don't have a big marketing budget. Think about social media consulting too, or digital marketing help. The barrier to entry is really low.
True.
You need time, a computer, got to be comfortable online, good communication skills. That's basically it to start. And the advice to build a portfolio by helping nonprofits or local businesses cheap or even free initially, that's solid practical advice. Get those testimonials.
Listening to this, some of these ideas seem to be about spotting gaps.
Yeah.
Right? Things bigger companies aren't doing well, like the grocery delivery service idea. Okay, the big chains deliver.
Most do, yeah.
But what about smaller places? Local food stores, natural grocers, maybe they don't have delivery. You could partner with them. or build your own little niche service.
That's a great point about finding the gaps. What do you think the biggest challenge is there, though, for something like niche grocery delivery?
Hmm. Probably logistics, right? Getting things delivered reliably without spending a ton upfront.
Yeah, logistics. Maybe starting super local.
Yeah.
Or using existing delivery platforms just for the actual drop-off. Could work.
Zen Business also lists project management services. Lots of companies need that expertise, but maybe only temporarily.
Right, hiring someone full-time is expensive.
Exactly. And mobile repair phones, computers, whatever, going to the customer. That's a huge convenience factor. Big selling point.
Totally. And who hasn't needed help with something they're trying to learn? That brings us to tutoring or teaching. But the blog expands this beyond just like school subjects. Think art lessons, computer skills, how to get organized, cooking.
If you know something well and like teaching it,
Yeah, pretty accessible start. And with jobs being so competitive, a resume writing service that offers really clear value. Definitely. These all highlight leveraging what you already know or can do. The list also has childcare provider. Huge demand there, especially for in-home or custom setups.
But crucial point there, you absolutely have to check local rules, licensing. Can't skip that.
Oh, absolutely. Very important. Then you've got freelance writing and graphic design, super common starting points. And using platforms like Fiverr, Upwork, Etsy to get initial clients or sell digital stuff makes total sense for keeping costs minimal.
Okay, let's stick with freelancing for a second because it's such a broad area. The post mentions just being a general consultant. Basically, if you know a lot about anything specific,
Anything.
chances are someone will pay for your advice. Then there's event or party planning. Maybe focus on smaller stuff to start. Intimate weddings, small company events.
Specializing again. And blogging, of course. Takes time to build, definitely.
Yeah, not instant cash.
No. But potential for different income streams down the line, affiliate links, sponsored posts, maybe your own products eventually.
And creating information products, ebooks, courses, videos. The tech to make and sell those is so accessible now.
It really is. Very low cost to create digital products. And for animal lovers, dog walking, pet sitting, always in demand, especially around holidays.
Oh, yeah.
Or if you're good with people, helping them reach goals, life coach or mentor, again, super low startup costs, endless niches you could focus on.
The variety is just huge. They even list business plan services make sense with more people going freelance or starting their own thing, and something like logo design services.
Yep.
Seems pretty straightforward, right? Small, defined projects to start.
Yeah, and you could potentially grow that into offering like full social media branding packages later.
Build on it.
Exactly. Got a knack for cooking, catering. But again, find your niche. What's missing locally? Errand services are on the list too, maybe targeting seniors. Or using platforms like TaskRabbit. And virtual assistant work, huge demand for remote admin or tech support.
All stuff you can do often with skills you already have.
Right. And pet grooming, maybe a mobile service? Translation services globalization means more need for that.
Computer repair. Everyone has computer problems.
Always. And computer skills tutor tech changes so fast, people need help keeping up.
Okay, some of these are really practical, maybe things you wouldn't immediately think of as a business. Like garage cleaning, combined with being a garage sale guru.
Oh.
Help people declutter and sell their stuff.
Double value there.
Picture framing. Apparently you can do that from home, low material costs, good markups. Who knew?
Interesting.
Personal grocery shopping, not delivery, but actually doing the shopping for busy people or those with specific needs.
Saves people time, or helps those who can't easily shop themselves. And the organizing theme pops up again. Professional organization consultant. Homes, offices, digital clutter, broad applications. Dog training, especially mobile or in-home. That personalized service is a good angle.
Yeah.
Love your local area, become a local tour consultant. Walking tours, maybe. Partner with the local tourist office.
That sounds fun, actually.
And craft skills. Sewing and alteration specialist. Or designing and selling crochet or knitwear online or at markets.
Wow, okay. That's a ton of service ideas, all potentially under that $100 mark.
It really shows what's possible.
So let's switch gears a bit. What about product-based ideas from the Zen business list, where you're selling an actual thing? The key here often seems to be using online platforms and not needing, like, a warehouse full of stock to start.
Exactly. Minimizing inventory risk. A prime example is a dropshipping e-commerce business.
Right, where you don't handle the products yourself.
Correct. You focus on the marketing, the sales, the website. Someone else ships it. Lower risk, less capital tied up.
Okay.
Affiliate marketing is another one. Build a website or blog around a niche, then link to other companies' products. You get a commission if someone buys through your link.
Minimal cost to set up the site, maybe.
Yeah, but the catch is you really need to work on getting traffic, getting eyes on those links.
Right. It's not passive income overnight.
Definitely not. And of course, writing and self-publishing books. Amazon, Apple Books. They've made it so much more accessible for writers to get their work out there directly.
And if you're more hands-on, creative.
Yeah.
Restoring and upcycling furniture. Find cheap pieces on Craigslist or Facebook, fix them up, sell them.
Yeah, giving old stuff new life. People love that. Homemade gourmet foods, too, caters to special diets, local tastes. But big caution there. You have to check your local laws about selling food made at home. Super important.
Good point. Regulations matter.
Same goes for homemade natural soups and beauty products.
No.
Growing trend, but check the rules. Or just sell stuff on eBay. Start by helping friends and family clear out their clutter and split the profit. Easy way to dip your toe in.
That's a classic side hustle.
It is. Freelance photography, maybe specialize. Portraits, product shots for online stores. You might already have the basic gear. Personal chef. But focusing on preparing meals off-site, like weekly meal prep people pick up.
Yeah.
More flexible, less overhead than a full catering setup. Ah, okay. And a newer one they mentioned, selling plants online. Apparently that's a growing niche.
Yeah, people getting into rare plants, seeds, could even offer garden design advice in the off-season.
We're really seeing how powerful online platforms are for these product ideas, aren't we?
Absolutely.
Selling crafts online Etsy is the obvious one, but there are others. Find a trend, find a niche, and even tech. App developer. They mentioned you don't necessarily need deep coding skills anymore.
Right. There are these no-code or low-code platforms now. You can build functional apps, maybe even using AI tools, without being a hardcore programmer. Technology is really lowering the bar.
It really is. It's kind of amazing.
It levels the playing field.
Yeah.
The Zen business list also had a few other interesting product-service mixes, like cleaning out foreclosed homes, contacting agents to find that need.
Niche.
Internet security consultant, privacy, security are huge concerns now.
Yeah.
Setting up a general online retail store with Shopify or similar platforms.
Easier than ever to set up an online shop. Definitely. And creating and selling online courses. Udemy, Teachable. Share your expertise globally.
And then sprinkled in, there were some, well, almost unexpected ideas.
Yeah.
Like day trading stocks, crypto. High risk, maybe, but low initial cost, potentially.
But needs knowledge and risk tolerance. Big time.
Or becoming a direct sales consultant,
Yeah.
Pampered Chef, Avon, those types. Often under $100 to get the starter kit, plus they give you training.
Built-in support structure there.
And even organizing a bowling league. Partner with a local alley, focus on the fun, the marketing.
That's great. It shows how diverse the possibilities are. And some ideas are even simpler, tapping into hobbies or just networking. Like one suggestion was just buying coffee for prospects to chat and see how you could help them.
Just networking, basically.
Yeah. Or someone who loves cooking, making small batches of jam or something for the farmer's market. And then the really unique creative stuff, making purses from old album covers, building cigar box guitars. Super niche, but clearly passion projects turned into businesses.
It all circles back to that Guibo quote, doesn't it? The core thing.
You need something to sell that other people want to buy.
Yep. Whether it's companionship for seniors or a handmade guitar or fixing computers,
Yeah.
it's about value. What need are you meeting?
Exactly. And he stresses making sure it's potentially profitable, even if it's small. Find that sweet spot. What you enjoy or are good at, and what people will actually pay for.
Right. Not just a hobby, but a business.
And you know what's really motivating? Reading the comments on his blog post. People shared their actual experiences.
Oh, yeah? Like what?
Well, someone started a print magazine for $68. Unbelievable.
Wow.
Another person launched a Pampered Chef business for $65 and did really well. And someone else started a balloon art business for under $50 and made significant income.
See, those are real examples. It's not just theory. People are doing that.
Exactly. It proves it's possible.
And a big theme in those comments, something people kept saying was, don't get distracted by fancy stuff early on.
Right. Like, don't waste time and money on expensive business cards or a super complex plan before you've even made your first sale.
Focus on the core thing. Get the offering right. Get a customer.
Nail that first. The other stuff can wait, or maybe you never need it. People also talked about starting part-time, which makes sense. less risk,
Hmm.
and just reinvesting the initial profits back into the business to grow slowly. And the idea of sweat equity came up a lot.
Your time and effort being the main investment.
Exactly. When cash is tight, your hard work is the capital.
We should be realistic, though. Starting for under $100 is doable, clearly.
Yeah.
But growing it, scaling it up, that might take more effort, maybe more money down the road.
Oh, for sure. This is about getting started, testing the idea, getting that initial traction. It's a fantastic way to learn entrepreneurship without betting the farm.
Yeah, low-risk learning.
And the comments had practical tips, too, like using Vistaprint's free offers for basic business cards initially, or using free open source software for things like design, website building, documents. Tons of great free tools out there.
Right. Resourcefulness again.
Mm-hmm.
So really, as we kind of wrap this section up, the big message seems clear.
Yeah.
That huge financial barrier people imagine, it's often not as solid as it seems. Starting a business with very little money is absolutely possible. And it's a valuable experience, even if it stays small.
Definitely. But it all hinges on that first step, like Yibo says. Having something of value that somebody else is willing to pay for, figure that out first.
So the key takeaway for you listening is pretty straightforward. Launching a business doesn't have to mean taking out a massive loan or emptying your savings. There are tons of viable, interesting ways to get started for under $100 as long as you focus on selling something people genuinely want or need.
Yeah, so think about it. What skills do you have? What interests you? What problems do you see around you? How could those things line up with some of the ideas we've talked about or spark a new one? What could you offer, even on a tiny scale that someone might pay for? And remember those first crucial steps. Figure out what you're selling and figure out who might buy it. Start there. Which brings us to a final thought to leave you with. What skill or passion do you already have right now that could be the seed of a business you could launch for, say, less than the cost of a nice dinner out? And maybe more importantly, what's just one small thing, one tiny action you could take this week to explore that idea a little bit further?